You know that feeling when you walk into a building and you just get it? You know exactly where to go? And then there are those other places, right? The ones that feel like a confusing maze? Well, that is absolutely not an accident. It's all down to something architects call circulation. It's like the invisible architecture that guides our every single move. So, let's pull back the curtain and see how it all works.
So, what is circulation really? Well, one source I came across called it the perceptual thread that links all the spaces in a building together, and I just love that description. Think of it like a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's the narrative that unfolds as we move from room to room.
So, yeah, that feeling of being welcomed or totally lost, it all comes down to how those paths are designed. Are they clear? Inviting? Do they build a sense of anticipation, or are they just disorienting? Believe it or not, the paths we walk are telling us a story, whether we're consciously listening or not. Now, you might think the journey through a building starts when you open the front door, but actually it begins way before that. It starts with the approach, how we see and move towards the building from the outside. And that first impression, it's absolutely critical. First up, we have the frontal approach. This is as direct as it gets. It's a straight, powerful path that just screams importance and formality. I mean, think about the long reflecting pool leading straight to the Taj Mahal. There's no messing around. The building is presenting itself to you head on. But what if you change the angle a little bit? Well, you get a totally different vibe. With an oblique approach, the path doesn't take you straight to the door. Instead, it kind of makes you work for it. You see the building from different angles, it enhances the perspective, and it delays your arrival, building up a little drama. A perfect example is the winding path to Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. And then you've got the spiral approach. Oh, this one is special. It truly makes the journey part of the destination. You actually circle the building, getting to experience its full three-dimensional form before you even think about going inside. Of course, the classic example is the Guggenheim in New York, where that amazing exterior ramp gives you a hint of the incredible spiral waiting for you inside. Okay, so once you've made your approach, the entrance itself signals that big transition from outside to in. It can be flush with the wall, really subtle and seamless. It can be projected, like a porch that's reaching out to say hello, or it can be recessed, carved into the building to give you this nice, sheltered, transitional space. All right, we're through the door. Now what? Well, the journey continues, of course. Architects use all kinds of different strategies to lay out the paths that guide us through a building's interior. And these interior paths can take on so many different forms. You can have a simple straight line, kind of like a bowling alley. You could have a grid system, just like city streets, or you could have a really complex network of routes that crisscross. Each one of these layouts creates a totally different flow and feel for the building. Okay, and here is a really, really crucial idea. It's all about how these paths relate to the rooms themselves. So a path can pass by a space. Think of a hallway running alongside a bunch of bedrooms. This keeps each room private and maintains its integrity. Or a path can pass through a space. This is like when you have to walk through the living room to get to the kitchen. In that case, the living room itself becomes part of the circulation route. And sometimes the entire reason a path exists is to lead you to one specific spot. You know, like the main aisle in a grand cathedral, leading you straight to the altar. The path is intentionally designed to terminate, to end in a space that acts as the clear destination, the big finale of that particular journey. Of course, circulation isn't just about walking around on a flat surface. We also have to move vertically. So let's talk about the art and the surprisingly precise science behind stairs and ramps. This is where design gets a little nerdy, and it's awesome. You know why some stairs feel so easy to climb and others just feel wrong? It all comes down to this formula right here. 2 times the riser height, that's the vertical part, plus the tread width, that's the part you step on, should equal about the length of a normal human stride. Okay, pop quiz time. Let's put this to the test. If a nice, comfy tread, the part your foot lands on, is 300 millimeters wide, what would the ideal riser height be? Just think about that formula. 2R plus 300 should get you to around 600 or 640. What do you think R is? You got it. It's right around 150 millimeters. If we aim for 600, you just take 600, subtract the 300 for the tread, which leaves 300. Divide that by 2, and bam, 150 millimeters. It's that simple piece of math that creates a comfortable, natural rhythm when you're climbing a set of stairs. And stairs have so much personality, don't they? They come in all sorts of shapes. You've got the super compact dog-legged stair, which you see in a lot of homes, the open well, which is great for letting light and air move through a building, the classic space-saving spiral stair, and of course the grand bifurcated stair you might see in a fancy hotel, where one wide flight just dramatically splits into two. Now, beyond comfort and style, there are some very strict rules for moving up and down. And these are not just suggestions, they are non-negotiable standards, designed to keep everyone safe and make buildings accessible.
Building codes everywhere specify these critical dimensions. Just to give you a concrete example, the National Building Code of India from 2016 says a residential stair has to be at least 1 meter wide. You can't have more than 15 steps in a row before you get a landing, and you need at least 2.2 meters of headroom, so, you don't smack your head. And ramps are just as critical, especially when we talk about accessibility. Their steepness or gradient is everything. A nice, gentle 1 in 20 slope is what you're aiming for. The absolute max for someone using a wheelchair independently is 1 in 12. What that means is for every 12 units you travel forward, the ramp can only rise by 1 unit. That's what ensures the path is actually usable and safe. So from the grand, sweeping approach all the way down to the precise angle of a single ramp, circulation is truly the hidden language of architecture. It is constantly shaping our experience, guiding our journey, and telling us a story. So the next time you walk into any building, your office, a museum, a friend's house, stop for a second and pay attention. Ask yourself, what story is its circulation telling me?